So I've decided to share this on my my podcast and YouTube channel because I I had intended to send a little letter to the the uh, the people who are taking care of everything there at The Chosen, um, the television series about Jesus Christ. And I got on the website and I discovered I went to contact, and there wasn't a way to really contact as far as I could see. It was mostly just FAQs and stuff, which I totally understand. Probably swamped with people wanting to contact them. So I thought that I'd share these concepts here because um, even if it's not something that influences this particular show, I think that the ideas surrounding why I wanted to contact them are pertinent um, to the world of fundraising, for one thing, and also pertinent to the world that we are about to enter, that we are entering, wherein people are asking for money to help support what they do. So here we go. Hello, my name is Jonathan McCormick, and I'd like to say thanks for all of the great work that you've done at The Chosen. It seems to me that it is an important work and that it is also timely. It seems that the world has been prepared to hear these stories retold at this time and in this way, and I am so grateful that all of you have felt called to participate in its production. Thank you. With all of that said, I also have a small suggestion that I hope might be of use. You see, even though I have watched all of the episodes of The Chosen, I have not yet made a contribution, and there is a particular reason why I have not contributed. Several times I've watched an episode and thought to myself, I think I'm going to make a donation, and then I clicked on the Pay It Forward button and was met with the suggested monthly amount of $150 monthly. During much of the time that I have been watching The Chosen, I have been living on $200 a month. Not really, but in a way, yes. I send most of my income to support loved ones with whom I am currently estranged. After that, I try to live simply. I've embraced the new trend of van life and live mobile so that I can avoid paying rent and etc. But I do have a few bills, and after I pay them, I can count on having about $200 a month most of the time, and that money has to cover groceries and etc. And I've been able to make it all work by going to the food bank and trading for things I need and etc. Of course, sometimes the van needs a repair or some other large expense comes along and God has to intervene in some way. And He does, for which I am grateful. It always seems to work out. Sometimes I work an extra shift, and sometimes some unforeseen miracle comes along. I don't tell you all of this in order to elicit sympathy. I really do love my simple life, and I'm so much more than content with the way that God is blessing me from day to day. But I share the particulars of my budget so that you will understand the suggestion that I make. You see, each time that I have gone to make a donation, I have scrolled the donation bar all the way down to the bottom, and I have discovered that the minimum amount that I can pay has been $15. And until recently, each time that I did so, it so happened that I could not afford $15. LOL. Laugh out loud. Of course, I know that it is easy to justify such things. It is easy to excuse oneself in never giving because we believe that we can't afford it. And so I said a little prayer to myself at the time, at the times that I was about to donate, asking what I should do. And I seemed to hear a still small voice suggest that perhaps there are other places where I can be of help. And so I did not donate. But I really did want to donate. I found myself wishing that there was a smaller amount. I knew that I had at least a fiver. I had $5 at least, and so I thought to myself, maybe next time. Well, fast forward to today. I recently received a raise at work, and I have been putting in more hours, and I have found myself thinking about donating to The Chosen again. But I haven't. I find myself struggling to get up the motivation to do so. You see, each time that you asked me for $150 and I had to scroll the bar down to $15 and then realize that 15 was more than I could afford, I felt a little bit discouraged. I found myself thinking, what is $15, much less $5, compared to the production costs of The Chosen? Even if I could give $150, it wouldn't even buy one round of Starbucks for the cast and crew. And so it felt as if my small donation wasn't really wanted. And interestingly, I did not even start to think that way until I realized that you favored large donations. And by asking me for so much when I had so little, it caused me to feel disinclined to donate. Not because I don't love the show and appreciate so much the work that you do, but because it felt as if you didn't appreciate what I had to give. It appeared as if you only wanted the big dollars, and it is discouraging to give when you feel like it is not appreciated. Now, of course, I know that it was not your intention to leave that impression. Dallas has said many times that we should bring what little we have and see what we can do, just like the loaves and fishes. But it occurred to me that you may not realize that your tactics may be discouraging to those who do not have much to give. I've also heard Dallas mention that less than 5% of the people who watch The Chosen The Chosen give to the show. And I cannot help but wonder if perhaps part of the reason for that is that those who don't have much to give feel discouraged. I also wondered what would happen if everyone was encouraged to give no matter how little their donation. I think that it would be great if those numbers were just the opposite. What if 95% of the people who watched the show gave, even if all they could give was a cup of coffee or a pocket full of change? And wouldn't they be more likely to give if they didn't have to compare their contribution to an implied expectation to which they cannot measure up? This seems to be kind of important, being that the show is now being sent to third world countries. I know that my situation is rare for someone who lives in the United States, but it is not rare in many of the countries to which this show will be going. They need to experience these stories in all their glory, and that takes a lot of money. But they also need the opportunity to give what little they can and feel as if their contribution is appreciated, just as much as the man or woman who gives their thousands and their millions. And so I recommend that you reconsider refraining from suggesting an amount, or that if you set an amount, that you make it so low that even the widow with her mite will not feel discouraged at offering her all. And one last thing, I have seen this tactic employed by Wikipedia. Every so many months they beg me for money, and it really does seem like begging. They go on for about 3 or 4 paragraphs telling me how they hate to be coming once again asking for money, but how much they appreciate the contributions and how much they need them to keep their operation running. And then they tell me how much they appreciate the contributions I have made in the past, and they explain how if everyone gave $2.75 or some other nominal amount, that it would fund their operation for X amount of time. And then they imploringly ask me for just that, $2.75. Of course, they give me an opportunity to increase that amount, but they make it clear how much it means to them that I donate anything. I remember the first time I received such a message. As usual, I had very little discretionary income. But I thought about how often I use Wikipedia and what an essential part of my life it is. And I was struck by the fact that it would be ungrateful for me not to contribute something, and so I donated a small amount that I could afford. And I have continued to donate, and it feels good to donate when they come calling, because even though their operation costs must be substantial, they recognize the importance and significance of small and simple gifts. I feel like my small donation means something to them. And though I am sure that they appreciate large donations, I don't feel any the less for what I cannot give. Sincerely, Jonathan McCormick.